Hello everyone. Today we're gonna talk about the Equifax data breach of 2017. Myself Akash Sharma and my teammate Arun Garwan here to speak about it. And it is about the intro to cybersecurity, and our instructor is Miss Pauline Mosley. And moving on to the first slide, the case summary about this breach is what the breach occurred in 2017. It affected around 147 million individuals, and the data which was exposed in it was personal documents like SSN, birth dates, addresses, driver license, and even other documents as well. This attack lasted around 2 months, which was from mid-May to July, and it was come disclosed to the public on September 7th, 2017 by the Equifax. So the timeline of the breach, as I spoke in the last slide, was like this vulnerability was identified in March 2017, and the attacker exploited it for over 2 months, that is from May to July. And Equifax discovered about this in July 29, that is the end of the July, and it was disclosed to the public in September 7th. And the technical cause about this breach was the Apache Shard's vulnerability. It was vulnerable, so the attacker used it, and they they found the patch into the system. And Equifax, like when they found out about it, after warning, they failed to find a perfect solution to fix it, and it was because of the inadequate network segmentation and encryption itself. The main failure about this was organizational failure, because the lack of effective vulnerability management. It should have been managed. Even there was no formal patch management strategy. A strategy should have been built. Even the communication was between the security team and the IT teams wasn't proper, which led to this vulnerability. So the people involved in this decision making was CIO, CSO, and executive leadership, like leaders, even the IT and cybersec department. But later on, after the vulnerability, the federal regulator and the third party consultants came into action to stop this breach. So main threat actors, like who are the responsible for this, mostly it is a suspect that Chinese military hackers were the responsible for this threat, and later on even the web shell and custom malware. They were using web shell and custom malware, which uses like which led to leak of data. Now, moving on to the legal framework for the prosecution, Federal Identity Theft and Assumption Difference Act. So, all these acts were imposed on the people who were the part of the, like, who were the main culprit and the actor. Even the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, even the international challenges in prosecuting the foreign threat actors. This is for the Chinese military, which I spoke in the earlier slide. Now, regulatory obligation was FTC regulation and Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, which is also known as GLBA, and state level consumer protection law. Now, moving on to the last one from my side, GDPR and new privacy. Like after this breach, there were a few more laws which came into action, like GDPR in 2018 after the breach, which came into action. Like it has much more penalties if the culprit is caught. Even the US CPI implication, that is for the California Consumer Privacy Act, even the stricter breach notification and consent requirements. So these all the laws which came into action after the breach. Now moving on to the other slide, it will be taken over by my teammate Arun Karwal.
Thank you, Akash. Impact of news laws on future breaches. New laws have shifted how many companies handle breaches. There are now mandatory breach notifications, significantly heavier fines, and a greater emphasis on encryption and data minimization. These changes aim to protect consumer data more proactively. Mitigation strategies. To prevent such breaches, organizations should prioritize patch management automation, implementation, implement robust network segment, and continuous monitoring systems. These strategies help in early detection and rapid response to vulnerabilities. Security best practices. Equifax experiences highlights Experience highlights the need of broader security measures, implementing zero trust architectures, providing regular cybersecurity training for all staff, and conducting audits and penetration testing are vital components for a stronger secure posture so that the data of the consumer is not breached. Incident response improvements. An effective incident response plan must be include regular tabletop exercises, well-defined escalations protocols, and clear crisis communication strategies. Equifax lacked these elements, contributing to the chaotic response after discovery. Next. Equifax public response. After the breach, Equifax offered free credit monitoring to affected user. However, the responses was widely criticized. There were delays in disclosure and vague public statements. This led to the resignation of the CEO and other executives. Next. Reputation management analysis. The breach had lasting impact on Equifax reputations. Stock prices fell and people's trust eroded. The case illustrates how transparency, timely action, and responsible leadership are crucial for managing brand reputation during a crisis. So, the lesson learned from from the Equifax breach is the key takeaways include they need proactive risk management strategies, executive accountability, and alignment between technical readiness and organizational culture. Cybersecurity must be treated as a strategic business issue, not a technical one. Board recommendations. The board must invest advanced cybersecurity infrastructures, a dedicated chief information security officer, which is also abbreviated as CISO, should also report directly to the CEO to ensure executive awareness. Additionally, continuous training and compliance efforts should be backed by proper budgeting. Current status of Equifax. Equifax has settled the case by creating 425 million funds to by creating a 425 million fund to support affected users. The company has revamped its security protocols and now maintains active monitoring and compliance tracking. The breach became a turning point for how seriously cybersecurity is viewed at a board level. So the conclusion for this slides are the 2017 Equifax breach was entirely preventable. It serves a strong reminder that timely patching, executive awareness, and user trust are non negotiable in today's digital world. Most importantly, it underscores that cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue. It is a boardroom priority with direct impact on an organization's reputation and survival. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.